in a cathedral.
The Buttress of Windsor.
The buttress doesn't work at all. Buttress and duchess are two completely different words. One of them is a person. One of them is a large arcing piece of stone that holds up a cathedral. Well, I guess they are the same in that way.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to this episode of Streaming Abduction Nightmare.
Streaming
from Kimberly Carrasco.
I'm not sure there's a coherent thought out of that one.
Streaming.
Well,
abduction?
Streaming Nightmare for us would be when we were streaming 19.2 and then got our balls snipped.
Oh, that kind of streaming. I was thinking more like Netflix. Like, what's a streaming nightmare? Is it binging The Umbrella Academy? Is that what it is? I haven't watched that show yet.
Streaming abduction nightmare? We didn't get abducted. How can you get abducted?
The stream got abducted.
The stream got abducted.
Okay.
It potentially could also mean abduction, like when you bring your legs together.
Oh, okay.
Abduction.
Are those spelled the same?
Those
are
are
those spelled the same?
abductors
Oh my God, that's the
versus-
best one of those things. What do you call it when
And-
two words are spelled the same but are different?
Interestingly enough, and this is just
same but different.
This is just some life advice. If you are abducted, definitely abduct your legs and squeeze them together because that's the only thing that's going to get you through this. All right?
It's very true. They're
Core
trying
strength.
to get to your butthole bits.
Yes, exactly. You got to keep those legs tight.
Like tiger.
And Abduction is actually the name of a fantastic black metal band that had one of my favorite albums from last year. Not a joke, just a real. Just look it up. It's on Apple Music and Spotify. Abduction.
Of course it is the name of a black metal band.
Always is.
It always is. Does Siri analyze nutsacks? I think is a real interesting question to ask.
So we were searching for a sand title because we never prepare for this podcast until about 6 seconds before we start.
I know that might come across as a shocker to a lot of you.
Hard to believe.
But we're wondering, and I suggested Siri analyzes nutsacks, and the problem was we were thinking how could you get Siri to analyze nutsacks? I don't think within its core, the functionality of Siri, you can't give Siri a photo of balls and say, analyze this, Siri. But what you could do, conceivably, and this is outside of the core functionality of Siri, is you just hold your phone up to your nuts and say hey Siri, what do you think of this? And
Does Siri give you a grade from 1 to 10, 0 to 100, A to F?
Maybe it's just about classifications. Maybe she's just putting you in different bins.
That's got to be a fetish, by the way, at this point. Siri, with her sultry feminine voice there, looking at nutsacks, having her look at your nutsack while saying things to her and seeing what she responds with.
Yeah.
There's got to be a whole bunch of people with Siri.
I mean, if you can think it,
point.
Google has a result for it, probably.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it a fetish.
It's just
the
how
normal
we get
day-to-day thing.
It's just a solution for a problem. I'm lonely. My girlfriend lives in Seattle, so I'm going to get very intimate with Siri, okay?
Yeah. I wonder sometimes about, I use my phone regularly on the toilet. That is probably
good. Well, this is taking it to a better place.
60% of the time I'm on the toilet while I'm using my phone.
Uh-huh.
And that is hours a day, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Or 60% of the time you're on your phone, you're on the toilet.
Don't your legs fall asleep if you're on the toilet that
Yeah,
much?
I have great mobility.
Yeah. See, Chase gets it.
Yeah, man, they do.
Yeah. No, if I'm on the toilet for any more than 3 minutes maximum, fuck 3 minutes, 2 minutes maximum, I get up and I just fall over and I have to lay on the bathroom floor like the old lady from the I've fallen and I can't get up commercials.
I have no qualms about having marathon toilet sessions. But either way, my point is...
But you need to wipe multiple times throughout or else your butthole dries out.
Very fucking true.
And don't sit on there too long. It can cause hemorrhoids because you're going to splay your butthole for too long and it will cause micro tears that could get infected.
You get really...
I actually don't know if that's how hemorrhoids happen. I'm just making this up.
It makes sense.
My point is with facial recognition technology, the downward... the upward facing angle, the old man on FaceTime for the first time angle. There's probably a lot of really fucked up images of facial recognition just going off at the weirdest moments while people are on the toilet.
Yep.
I think eventually it's the AI that Siri operates by. It's, of course, analyzes all the photos taken from all the phones. That's what Apple is doing with the data. Of
course.
Eventually, we'll be able to identify people by nutsacks.
Yeah.
Because a large percentage, clearly a very large percentage, I'd say at least 30, maybe 40% of photos taken with smartphones are of nutsacks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or at least contain nutsacks. Maybe the focus is the dick.
Yeah.
But... some percentage of those shots contain both nutsacks and faces.
Yes.
So eventually, it'll have enough data to connect a nutsack to a face, So eventually, that as it turns out, might be the new. We're looking for new ways to establish identity to prevent identity theft.
It's like dental records.
What if it
fingerprints,
turns out? What if it
nutsacks.
turns out
Every nutsack is a snowflake.
exactly every nutsack, just the pattern of veins on it is just unique,
I bet
never
it
to
is.
be repeated, and that is the best form of identification.
Well, it's like a brain, right? I mean, the wrinkles on your brain are very different than the wrinkles on my brain.
Exactly.
And so my assumption would be that the wrinkles on my nutsack are very different than the wrinkles on your nutsack.
And then plus you have the follicular distribution patterns
Correct.
of hair on the nutsack.
I
There's a
found
lot
my
of
first white hair on my nutsack recently.
Oh, really? I haven't made it there yet. I think that
was
means
a
you're
real
dying.
moment.
Are the wrinkles on your nutsack just like the rings inside a tree when you cut it down? That's how you can tell how old the tree is.
Yeah.
Huh.
Funny.
And you have to cut it open in order to tell, actually.
I think I'm only 17
It's a
according to
full
mine.
No, the age of the nutsack is measured by when you do a helicopter motion with the nutsack. The diameter of the helicopter is larger the older you get.
Yeah.
So 1 foot diameter of that circle is clearly at least 75 years old.
Yeah, that's right.
A 1 foot diameter.
Listen, that's what
Holy
happens
shit.
when you get old. That's how you know you've turned 30. You can, in your 20s, you can helicopter your dick, but once you get to be 30 and above, the nutsack surpasses the dick in length. Plus, it has a lot more mass near the end. So if you try and helicopter, you're just helicoptering your balls, which is fun, but it lets you know that it's time to buy a house.
I don't think that's accurate. I think
is
some people
accurate.
just have some stretchy nutsacks.
Yes, no, that's true.
I went to a private Christian college. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yes.
But my
So you
dorms
experienced a lot of nutsacks.
my dorms were segregated by male and female. Like
Oh,
there was
good.
no cross pollination ever.
I bet there was, but it was
So-
happening in the backseat of a lot of cars.
I don't
Plenty
know.
of cross-pollination.
I don't know if that's true or not,
Oh.
but there was at least 2 years worth of the Grand Nutsack Sag Super Bowl.
So what you're saying is you're kind of an authority on nutsacks. You've seen a lot of them. You can you could call a nutsack at like 100 yards. Like, nutsack.
I can tell by
Yeah.
someone's gait,
Big balls, long balls,
and those guys definitely weren't ready to buy a house
No, they
or
were not.
retirement.
tiny little cupped balls.
They
Little
definitely
cold
need like
weather balls.
a cup at all times, probably.
Now, with a lot of things like this, there's like normalizations made in order to make sure that the data that is being acquired is acquired at like a level playing field, right?
Already thinking of that. Has to be in a sauna of a
God.
certain temperature.
Yeah.
That factors
And
out
that's exactly
the
where I'm
temperature
going
thing.
with it. The
Has to be in
temperature
a
has to be
sauna
controlled.
of at least 120 degrees. I don't know.
To
if a hot sauna
maximize
works.
Potentially-
to
maximize
scrotal length.
exactly.
Scrotal length
exactly.
will be maximum.
Potentially even maximize, like you need to normalize the time of day.
Yeah.
Like the scrotal measurements need to happen between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. in order for like maximal.
I'm thinking
I
it's
was
mainly
thinking
temperature.
late.
Thinking temperature. I don't think it varies
Humidity
by day.
has
Yeah.
to factor in for sure.
Ooh.
Time of day
absolutely.
I think is negligible. Temperature is where it's at. Well, remember that scene in The Thing where like the main creature that they have on the slab is set on fire, and then the head of the guy slowly stretches off and rips off. That's basically what your nutsack is doing. It's trying to get away from that heat. And my nutsack actually looks like an upside down screaming man's head with spider legs sticking out of it. But that's neither here nor there. It's just because my hairs are very thick and black and spidery and have little kinks in them.
I've actually
So-
seen a picture of your nutsack.
Yes.
I think Cliff has a shirt with a picture of your nutsack
yes,
on it.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is
And
also called The Thing.
It's an iconic moment in horror history in my nutsack. Rob Bottin sculpted my nutsack in 1982. The film was not commercially successful, but my nutsack has developed a cult following over time and is now held in high regard.
So 19.2 happened this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of nutsacks,
solid
I guess.
transition.
Fitness.
And I have not done it yet. I'm going to do it either today or tomorrow. Yes.
Get on that, man.
But
Yeah,
you
you
two
Do you,
guys.
do you need a gym to do it? Because I'm heading to a gym after this.
Oh, interesting. No, I got
I
I'll
can judge
do
you.
it at ABP there.
What? When do you not work out?
I'm not working out today.
Oh.
I'm going to go record with the CrossFit Muppet.
Oh, okay, sick.
Oh.
And neither one of us has like a recording studio. So
That makes
nice.
sense.
The CrossFit Muppet. Who's the CrossFit Muppet?
Orion Hones.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Orion is for ollie lifting. Oh, everybody.
yeah, if you've seen Chase's vlog or my vlog, occasionally Orion pops up on those. And he's basically, if the Sesame Street had a fitness character, it would be Orion. He's like this super bendy, ridiculously fit 20-something, like thick boy who, I don't know how else to describe him.
We've met him before.
You guys have met him.
Yeah. He's
The
a very
people
thick
listening
boy.
maybe have not.
Yeah.
How would you describe Orion other than saying he's a fitness muppet?
He's a 2-time CrossFit Games athlete,
That's
regional
negligible.
individual athlete, and
Blonde.
he looks
Very
like an
blonde.
albino man from South Africa
Yeah.
that kills rhinoceroses. Or rhinoceri?
I don't know.
He's definitely killing
I don't
something
know.
out
I
in
was
Africa Prairie.
contemplating throwing a South African accent out there, and I was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, it's
Don't
highly
do that.
racist.
It's not going to come out good.
Anyways,
It's not going to come out good. Anyway,
CT
so we
for
did
Ken.
19.2. 19.2 happened. It's a repeat of 16.2. Slight adjustment in that it has...
that was negligible. Did that matter to you? Did that
It
matter
did.
to
That
anybody?
That matters to the lower
matters to a
classes.
lot of people.
Yeah,
It
that
matters-
matters to the proletariat.
It matters to like the bottom 3/4, basically.
Because I had a few people that were just like, yeah, but it's with a twist. I was like, that is not.
That's not
That
a
is the
twist.
same
Yeah.
rule.
I think that is very much a twist. That is a twist that doesn't really matter if you've ever been to CrossFit regionals, but it's a twist that matters very much if you're just a great big fat
Because I
person.
can tell you
person.
exactly what it was. If it was a 4-minute time cap, I'd know exactly what my workout was. My workout would be
minutes.
about 4 minutes to get as many toes to bar as possible. That would be what the
And
workout
now
is.
it's
But
8
if
minutes
it's
to
8
get
minutes,
as many toe to bar
But
as
no, if
possible.
it's 8 minutes, I'm fairly confident I can get through that 25. Can get through the double unders, and I'm probably going to get onto those cleans there. So in 8 minutes, yeah, I predict. Honestly, I think
You're going to get back to the toe to bar.
Yeah, I can get back to the toe
So
to
it's
bar.
still
I can get back
about-
to the toe to bar. So it's a
how many toe to
substantially.
bar?
Yes, but I have to do all those other shits in the middle
All
there.
these other
Uh-huh.
shits.
Cliff, I have the solution
strategy.
to all your problems
What was
here.
that?
You do everything one at a time
Yeah,
from the get-go.
yeah.
You just do...
Including the double unders.
Well, what I said it in my vlog was my strategy is singles on the toaster bar, singles on the double unders, singles on the cleans, and only 2 of those are true. You can
Oh, you
figure out
biffed it?
which.
Yeah.
So
I watched it, and it was obnoxious to watch.
the singles on the toaster bar?
Yes, but like, as far as you made it as well, like 3 people while you were working out came up to me and they're like, it is unfair how fit he is. Like, he does not look fit,
I
and
don't.
he is better than all of us.
I was watching my own workout, and I was like, oh, God, there's a lot of bouncing going on in those double unders. Like, why do you look like that? I was like, why
Yeah.
do you look like that ever? I don't understand. Because in my mind,
Yeah.
I'm like fucking
Jason
jacked.
Momoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
my mind, I put on like those short shorts. I wear the tall socks.
You have
I
a
have
concave
like a shirt.
abdomen.
Yeah. In my mind, I'm like fucking Arnold and Conan.
like, if you
Yeah.
walked into the right room and everyone was shorter than you, they'd think you're LeBron James.
Yeah, basically. That's exactly it. Yeah, how did you know? It's like you're in my head
Well, it's
sometimes.
the same thing happens to me.
Now, all this is very dependent upon the company you keep there as to how jacked you feel.
Yeah, so Chase, you're off the show.
Well, just take pride in knowing no one else was paying attention to the jiggling. They were only mesmerized by how much better you were at this workout
Fuck
than
yeah.
anticipated.
Yeah, that's the fact right there. So that's the goal, right? Singles on the toes to bar. And here's why it works. Toes to bar are bullshit. And
Okay,
and
not news.
multiple reps of toes to bar is just piles of bullshit on top of one another. Because what the trap you get caught into is, let's say you've been CrossFitting for more than, I don't know, a year or like a year and a half or whatever, and you see workouts that have sets of like pull-ups or sets of push-ups or whatever, toes to bar. And you're like, oh, I'm going to break this up into 10s or 5s or 5 sets of 3 or whatever the fuck the set is. And you end up like, oh man, how many pull-ups can I do in a row? How many push-ups can I do in a row? How many front squats can I do in a row? The idea of unbroken is a fucking red herring. You are going to follow that path, and it only leads to ruin. Unbroken is absolutely unnecessary in 95% of workouts. And in a workout like this, where you're doing this like really violent, explosive hip closing movement, and then trying to, when you're kipping, catch yourself back at the front end of that kip.
Arrest
and
all your
stop
momentum.
Arrest all of your momentum. That is what fucks you up.
Yeah.
That's what makes you so goddamn tired, is like that when you're going on that negative, that descent of like catching it at the front end and
But
bouncing off that
I'm not
tension.
catching. I'm trying
It's like
to
the
pull
difference
that
between
bar.
it's like the difference between sit-ups and then like every time you do a sit-up, someone's like, "Here, catch this 50-pound bag of potatoes," and they throw it at you. And you catch it, and then you have to do another sit-up.
Right.
again.
It's like the thing that makes GHD sit-ups so painful over the long term is that at the back end you're so far extended, and then you have to violently close that hip again. And that's the exact same thing that happens on a toes to bar way at the bottom. If you like took the body position of a toes to bar off of like that pull up at the front of the kip right before you close your hips, and then just like cut the body out and then pasted it sideways onto a GHD, it's the exact same position as a GHD essentially.
Yeah.
And so if you avoid that hugely overextended position where you're just taxing the front of your body so much in a workout that is going to tax the front of your body a fuck ton, mainly because of the squat cleans, that right there is a win. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, I know I'm going to be slower on the first round, but it's going to pay major dividends. And that's exactly what happened. Like the last time I did this workout 3 weeks ago, I made it into the third round, but I used every fucking ounce of energy I had. Like at the 8-minute mark, I finished at like 7:55. I finished my last clean in that second round, and it took me 90 seconds to do another toast, the first toast to bar in the third round, because I was so fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
And this one, I like finished at like 7:30 something. The second round, and I got like a handful of toes to bar before the 8-minute mark even started. I just like stopped to get a drink of water or whatever. But like the difference that it makes in the long haul is massive. And I think people overestimate the importance of doing major sets in every workout, because at the end of the day, if you're just looking at the score and you're like, oh, this guy got 2 cleans at 225, it doesn't fucking matter how you got there.
Yeah.
I did more work across the
You just
entire
looked
workout.
less cool
I
while
just
you were
looked
doing
like an idiot.
Yeah.
But who cares if you look like an idiot? I did more work, and
You already look like an idiot. You're doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
that's right. Thank you.
You got to
not
embrace
everyone
that.
can look like Chase or Ryan while they're working out. You know.
Yes, not everyone can look like Chase and I, but
Very true,
I mean, you
Kyle.
got to embrace it. You got to go in. You got to look goofy when you go into the gym, because that will enable you to just work out at your own pace without thinking about looking cool. I haven't looked cool in the gym in ever, but you know, but I try, and I got to let go of that. But I was just thinking about when similar thing when Jason Khalipa did Amanda back when it was the debuted back in the day. He completely collapsed during the workout, like literally
Face
like,
planted, throwing
the barbell, it rolling away from him, and the big
Almost
empty
like killing the
chasing
cameraman.
it down. Yeah, it was
The
like
Khalifa
a crazy.
stumble.
It was like a big Looney Tunes sort of a thing. I think shortly thereafter, I remember him saying he then, as an experiment, did the same workout shortly thereafter, but all singles. So he just did like snatch, drop, and he just did like one. I think it's muscle ups, right, Amanda?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Did the muscle ups one at a time and got a much better time than when he went all out on the thing, but all singles. So
Well, it's hard to do Amanda slower than 30 minutes. That's how long it took him, right? It took him a long time.
No, I don't think it took him 30 minutes. It was probably like 25.
This might be a strategy I'm going to employ for other movements besides toe to bars too, because I do recall that occasionally you'll see burpee pull-ups pop up as a movement, but sounds nasty. But as it turns out, you can do like 100 burpee pull-ups and not really be sore from doing pull-ups.
Oh,
Whereas
very
you
true.
try to do 100 pull-ups in as many, 10, 10, arms tend to be wrecked. Mine do anyway.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
It's just that negative catching and then rebounding. That's where all the soreness and damage comes from.
I agree with that sentiment completely. I think high volume gymnastics
Or a mistake.
is mistake is probably the right word for it, but I would definitely say they're overvalued.
Yeah.
There is no functional benefit to being able to do a fuck ton of, let's say you can do 40 toes to bar in one set, and at the end of that 40 toes to bar you're like basically on the verge of vomiting because of how much lactic acid have you built up in your system. That's great. Good job. But in terms of the output that you're doing for like the damage you're putting your body through, for like the toughness of what you're putting your body through, there's no reason to put yourself through that more than like once every fucking like 3 weeks. Like why would you ever, especially in a situation where you can maximize your output with a smarter strategy, like you know, it won't work in something like Fran, for example, right? Let's say Fran is like the classic, like you got to go 0 to 60. Can't do singles on Fran. You've got to go unbroken because that's the point. The point is
because
to go
that's the
super
point where it
fast.
breaks down in terms of efficiency and competition. Is just there are certain people in certain workouts who are going to be able to do them continuously, and at that point, your efficient singles are just never going to be able to catch up with that person who has that crazy high capacity. Who
Absolutely, and outside of those types of workouts,
like a Chase,
like and exercisers like Chase, we started seeing this happen a long time ago when, like, you know, workouts would come out and especially like barbells, right? I remember there was a workout that was at the games. It was like a med ball GHD sit up to, it was like 2159, 21 GHD sit ups with a med ball, 15 snatches at like 165, and then like 9 burpees over a short wall. It was like a really quick sprint at the games. And I was like, man, 15 snatches at 165. These guys are going to just like do that in like sets of 5, or like, you know, maybe even like a 10 and a 5. The winners of that workout did it all singles. And I was like, why? What? And I remember just thinking, I was like, am I completely off here? Like, is unbroken not a thing anymore? And that was just one of the last pieces of evidence that proves this thing. Unbroken is not a thing. And we've known that with barbells for years. We've known that with barbells. Like, if you took someone and you're like, hey, we're going to do this workout, it's 19.2, it's 16.2, whatever. It starts off, there's 15 squat cleans. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to do sets of 5 on the squat cleans to go. The first thing you'd say is like, no, you're going to do one at a time, you moron. Like, this is a terrible idea. Have you ever done CrossFit before, right? No one questions that. But the moment you're like, do your toes to bar one at a time too, everyone's like, what the fuck? Why would I do that? Why shouldn't I just wreck my fucking body by grabbing onto the bar and holding on until I hurt?
Here's the thing you're missing, though, was the thing I was somewhat looking forward to if I was going to try to string several of these together, is if you do the toes to bar, stringing as many together as you can, hitting that big negative position and then rebounding, what happens is you get tremendous and glorious pec soreness. And that is sort of one of the things I was hoping for. I haven't done anything to grow my pecs lately, and if toes to bar could be it. Lower pecs.
Upper pecs.
Lower pecs
I don't know how the body works.
Precisely what is wrecked on toes to bar.
I agree with Cliff here that that's the fallacy in your single strategy.
What's the problem?
You're not going to get any gains.
I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to say what you were looking forward to with maximal sets of toes to bar is potentially slipping off the bar and dying and just ending your suffering.
That's not what I'm worried about. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm always hoping for that in the back of my mind. Anytime I do anything, I could walk across that street to get coffee. Oh, please let me get hit by a bus.
Please,
Let's do this.
Just embrace me, sweet, sweet darkness.
I cross streets like a squirrel. I don't look.
I just
one way or
run.
the other.
I will say though that
I also have a stash of nuts in one of the trees over there,
true.
just in case. So it's not
So
the only
many
way
pistachios.
Squirrels.
I will say this though, that you do want to for the young CrossFitter, the person who's just starting, that yes, I think there is advantage in acquiring that capacity to do continuous toes to bar, acquiring that capacity to do continuous pull-ups, etc., unbroken, because everything I know how to do in terms of just slight body awareness and able to like move in a coordinated way under a bar comes from learning how to string together continuous toes to bar, string together continuous butterfly pull-ups, string together at one point, believe it or not, continuous bar muscle ups. That was like 50 pounds ago. But I will say that like all the body awareness and the coordination that enables you to do that movement efficiently comes from like, fuck, I can only do one toe to bar at a time. I need to figure out how to string like 2 or 3 or 4 together. And then you learn the skill of how to like stabilize your body under, get a good kip that you can use for everything. And so
I'm sure I do pride myself in finally having learned how to string together toes to bars there, because for example I joke, but I can string together like 5 or 6 at a time.
I've
I know
seen
that
you do
technique.
butterfly pull-ups, dude.
And butterfly pull-ups, I can do 21 butterfly pull-ups, no more than 21, because for Fran you only need 21.
only need that. You don't want to overdo it.
Yes. But, no, it's a great point of pride that only exists in your own heart because the other people in the gym who have no idea what you're doing just think you're doing some bizarre seizure hanging off a bar or something.
Yes.
But that's what the joy of doing CrossFit in normal gyms is. The real joy is all these other people, they're looking at you like you're a moron. You know what? You got to accept that and say, deal with it, punks.
Yes.
I'm the superior individual. You don't know it. You don't know it. But I actually am superior, and you guys are my lessers.
You fucking plebes.
Alex Jones' voice. Oh, honestly, I'm actually a little retarded.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Joe. I'm a little retarded.
But I will say, to concretize what Cliff is saying, last year, believe it or not, I did a couple of open workouts, but I remember one of them did involve toes to bar. I don't remember the rest of the movements or what the workout was because I don't form memories anymore. But I remember I was at the gym and I was setting up for the workout. It was very crowded. I did the workout and I was doing continuous toes to bar, but there was another guy who I'd never met before in my gym over at ABP who was also doing the CrossFit Open workout, but he clearly did not know like how to do continuous toes to bar. And the problem is if you've never learned that he was trying to do singles, that it was just all like just curling your body slow,
strength,
just like literally like trying to like sit your body up to the point where your toes touch the bar. And you could see me just sort of swinging and going boop and touching my legs to the bar. And he was like, how do you do that? And I was like, all right. And I like got him up on the bar. I'm like, dead hang. I'm trying to got him doing like a basic kip. And within a little bit, he kind of got it, but it was going to take a lot more practice. And he was only going to get to that point of having those really efficient singles that you have by training doing them continuously. So.
Yeah, I think you're. Listen, I think you're right. I think there's value to learning how to move your body through a kip.
Yeah, yeah.
There's body awareness, there's conditioning, there's core strength, there's grip strength. All this stuff occurs. I just think that there's also a lot of value in understanding that being able to do like 50 in a row is diminishing fucking returns.
Yeah.
Being able to do like 10 in a row and understanding how your body works through those 10 is really valuable. Because then you can do singles and go much fucking faster.
Yeah, I think the only time you're going to need to do 50 unbroken toe to bar in a workout ever is if the workout is for time, do 50 unbroken toe to bar.
Or if someone has like kidnapped your children and is like, if you don't do 50 unbroken toes to bar right fucking now, I'm going to give them ice cream that isn't gluten free.
It's like, that's the plot line of Taken 7, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So also this past weekend was the Arnold Sports Festival.
Sure was.
And this is the first year in like 4 years I haven't gone. I'm actually really happy about that. Yeah. The Arnold is something that you kind of experience and then understand it. And then if you have to go back again, you are a very specific type of person who like thrives in that situation. Like I feel like either you're making a ton of money off of being there, or you're like a 19-year-old frat bro who just wants to like vomit and shit out whey samples.
Yeah,
I've never been.
Is it like the South? It's like the South by Southwest of strength sports.
Yeah, it's kind of. I guess that's a good way of describing it. It's like one weekend every year in early March, usually the first weekend of March. Like 150,000 people involved in the general fitness industry.
That's just not enough people.
Descend
How
upon
do we
Columbus,
get the word out
Ohio.
about this?
By the way, those two festivals are in high proximity to each other, close proximity to each other, South by Southwest and the Arnold. I'm wondering, but those such different identities. What is the Venn diagram of someone who actually attends both things?
I'll show it. It's
There has to be
right
a
here
couple.
in this room.
I'll tell
Maybe.
you. I've never been to South by Southwest.
That's true.
I've lived in Austin, and every year I've lived in Austin, I've gone to the Arnold.
So now you're shifting to a different kind of person.
Well,
I guess I'm someone different.
It doesn't help that in the last few years, South by Southwest has decided. You know how our badge prices were borderline unreasonable before? We've decided to double them to just way crazy. It's just like it's ridiculous. Like I remember when we first moved to Austin, we could buy a film badge. South by Southwest do the whole film festival for $300, which is insane. And now, just for a film badge, I think it's depending on when you buy it in the year, it's well over $1,000 and can be close to $1,500, which is just crazy.
And how many pre-workout samples are you
And
getting?
that's not to see. That's true. That's not to see. That's not to do the music and do everything. That's just to see movies. And so it's anyway. Continue. The Arnold.
The point is, the Arnold happened this weekend, and one of the interesting things. There's a lot of really interesting things that actually happen at the Arnold. For example, There's the animal cage. I don't know if you guys have seen the animal cage.
What's that?
I think animals like Animal Pack is like a.
Oh yeah, it's a brand of supplement.
right? So they do this thing where they literally set up a chain link cage inside the middle of the floor at the Arnold, where like hundreds of thousands of people are like walking by every day, and they bring in like the strongest strength athletes, like static strength athletes who aren't competing that weekend, to do feats of strength. For example, like a paused 900-pound deadlift.
Gross.
Or we saw Steffi Cohen squat 495, which is like a 13-pound unofficial world record.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy. I think she squatted 495 at 123 pounds body weight.
That's
Chase, how do you feel about this?
It's Steffi Cohen.
She is
I stopped comparing myself to her.
I mean, if she continues her career, she's already cemented herself as like one of the greatest athletes of all time. If she continues her career, she's potentially going to be like one of the greatest powerlifters ever, male or female.
Don't worry, Chase. She does it sumo, so it doesn't count.
It doesn't
That's very
count.
true.
It's
She's
just
a better,
sumo's
still have
her
a better
back squat.
real deadlift.
It's the squat.
It's the squat
that you
too.
can't really fight on this
Well,
one.
it was
too.
a
She didn't-
sumo squat.
Yeah.
Everybody
It was-
knows.
Yes.
But what is really interesting for us in this situation is that we saw the Arnold Strongman Classic, which is one of like the big strongman shows. It's the heaviest strongman show of the year. It's the biggest strongman show in terms of like bringing in the largest talent.
It's quickly making World's Strongest Man irrelevant.
I don't know if it's making World's Strongest Man irrelevant, but it certainly is like carving out its own version of strongman that is like just as good
Exciting.
and just as exciting, potentially more exciting than, and just as prestigious
And you can actually live stream it.
as World's Strongest Man. And
I
you
would
can actually
I would
watch
argue
it.
up until this point it was almost as exciting and prestigious, but this year with the addition of a single implement, it became far more interesting and exciting than Strongman ever
Certainly
has
for
been.
us.
Yeah, certainly for us, which is of course the Wheel of Pain.
The Wheel of Pain.
Yes.
And if you don't know what the Wheel of Pain is, go back and watch Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
Because Conan the Barbarian, if you don't know, is
The greatest
seminal
movie ever
classic.
There's a lot that's seminal about it.
It is a classic in cinema, and it is a movie which involves a young Arnold Schwarzenegger whose character is kidnapped as a child, a young child, when everyone in his village is murdered by the bastard, that king played by Edward James Olmos. No, I'm
Nope.
just kidding.
Not even
James Earl Jones.
Jones.
There's a James in there.
James Earl Jones with straight hair and blue eyes.
Straight hair, blue
Yes.
eyes, James Earl Jones. Anyway, so he gets kidnapped, and as a child gets basically attached to what is a mill,
Yeah.
and
It's like he's grinding
he's
wheat or
grinding-
something.
He's milling wheat, and
Yes.
he's pushing this log around in a circle
Mhm.
as a child, and as everyone else that's been enslaved dies around him,
Mhm.
Arnold grows into Arnold
Yes.
by
Mhm.
this push.
Just this wheel, and that's the thing, is that basically the Wheel of Pain in the first Conan the Barbarian is just a narrative contrivance to say, like, we show him as a kid, he's a skinny little kid, and then later on he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. This has to be addressed, and so the way they address it, so the way they address it is apparently roughly between the ages of 12 and let's say 25. He just continuously pushes the Wheel of Pain around in a circle, and that gives him all of those really full upper pecs that he has later on.
Just shitting on the floor the whole way. He never stops.
He
So-
never eats. He never stops. He
Yes.
just pushes the Wheel of Pain for
Yes.
11 years
Which,
straight.
by the way, I now realize that I only need one implement in order to get jacked and to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is the Wheel of Pain. So my dream life is to get a ranch and build exact replica of that. Why not that Rogue Wheel
No,
of Pain?
not a ranch, a grain farm. And
Oh,
then you're just
that-
milling that
precisely
grain.
it.
You're just,
functional Wheel of Pain.
we're
there.
talking
Yep.
rye. We're talking wheat. We're talking
Occasional
barley.
Corn every now and then.
Yes,
if you want to
exactly.
make some maize.
Yes, exactly.
Maize.
And if you have any energy left after taking care of your gigantic farm, your grain farm, then I guess you could use the wheel. But I think the taking care of the farm is what's going to get you jacked.
I don't know.
All day, grind wheat on the wheel. Sun goes down. Sit on top of one of the wheel arms and drink beer.
Yeah,
and
I thought he
then
was
you
going to
can
do something else
Then you
by
can
sitting
fuck.
on top of that wheel arm.
Yes. Just you do that
Get
too.
Taken by the Wheel of Pain.
Copulate with the Wheel of Pain.
So it would be one thing if Rogue decided that they were going to build some sort of functional facsimile that would, it's all, if it had all been brushed metal and looked cool and professional,
Which
and
exists.
roguey, which does it exist?
Absolutely exists.
Oh,
Wheel
okay.
of Pain implements are very common, actually.
Oh, excellent.
There's various versions of it. There's push versions of it. There's Zercher carry versions of it, and that's the most common one. But those exist. It's like a hub, and it has the arm that comes out of it, and you can load it with whatever in the
Conan's
middle.
wheel.
Yeah,
it
and
has
make
a Conan's wheel, exactly.
Yeah, but what makes this particularly unique and amazing is the fact that they built this gigantic, really like what appeared to be full scale replica of the Wheel of Pain, complete with all of the carved wood ornamentation and ropes and logs and everything. So while its guts is pure rogue, barrels full of sand and everything, what they're actually pushing on is like carved snake head wooden logs and all of that shit. And I thought that just the fact that they did that was so interesting and so cool and so evoked not just the spirit of what they were doing at the Arnold Strongman, but just the idea that it was the Arnold. And it's like, it's now an iconic implement that is purely associated and derived from the nature of that particular event. Arnold Schwarzenegger could not be better represented than with a full-scale Wheel of Pain, and that's just really cool, and it just got me excited. And I ended up watching the whole event live, which is saying something, by the way. It was kind of an accident. I kind of got lucky that I happened to be turning on the YouTube at the time, but man, I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah, they crushed it.
I've used a Conan's wheel before. I used to go to a gym a long time ago when I was training for wrestling that had one, and I couldn't tell you what that is training other than like strengthening your ability to get a hernia,
Yes,
or prevent a hernia.
Either
Like
one.
nothing
Maybe
was like
even give a
particularly
hernia?
sore other than like this midsection area.
Was it the kind where you push or the kind where you like lift something up?
It was a Zercher squat one, not
Okay.
squat, but you
Yeah, yeah.
loaded it there and then you
Yeah, yeah.
walked.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. It's kind of like a different way of doing like some sort of like strongman carry. But I just love that it was all pushing. It really did look like it really was true to the spirit.
Yeah,
of what
like
was
slave
Thor.
work.
Yeah,
Thor took his like gigantic broad back
Oh.
and just like set
Yeah.
himself up under
Oh,
it.
yes.
He
It
didn't
was
even
really
push it with his
interesting.
arms. He like set himself up under
Yeah.
it and just like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think,
all the way
he did
across.
that like halfway. I
Yeah.
think most people started pushing it and then eventually went to
Got to
some
the
sort
back.
of
Very-
back. Although, except for the winner, Maartins Licis, who Maartins Licis, who managed to, I think, push it the whole way and got first place.
Maartins, you heard it here first. Future world's strongest man.
Oh, yeah?
I have no
I-
doubt in my
I
mind.
agree.
They
about
said
that.
that he was that he hasn't been training all that long, and he's already like just like crushing events.
When
and
I
stuff.
first met Martins, it
of
was
course you know.
2015, and I met him at an amateur strongman competition. He already had his pro card, but he weighed under 300 pounds. He was like
Whoa.
275,
Wow.
and he could do a fucking flag on a rig.
Whoa.
Yes, he could flag on a fucking rig.
Chase.
Martins is a monster. I've seen him do like sets of 12 or 15 strict pull-ups
There's a rig
at
that
like
could-
330 pounds,
Wow.
340 pounds. He's a beast. Like his coach, mentor, trainer guy is Ode Haugen. Ode short for Odin, I
Yeah, yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
But Ode Haugen. And Ode is like in his 70s now, probably, maybe in his 60s, and he still is world record holder for multiple feats of grip strength. Like, for example, the Thomas Inch dumbbell, where picking it up once makes you like one of the strongest human beings on the planet. Ode, every year on his birthday, sets a world record for the number of times picked up within like a 90-second period, and he just does one more every year for his birthday. So on his 60th birthday, he did it 60 times. On his 61st birthday, he did it 61 times.
He's gonna live forever.
It's like a 200-something pound dumbbell with a Coke can sized, slightly larger diameter handle,
I want to try it.
and he just like boop, picks it right up,
Yeah.
rotates, like switching hands and shit. It's crazy. So like Ode comes from this strongman lineage of you're strong at everything. Like he's also like kind of the head guy behind Moz Wrestling. You guys know what Moz Wrestling is?
No.
Holy fuck. So Moz Wrestling is like a table. It's like a yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like, imagine like a flat, surface, like
I can
your
imagine a
wrestling
table.
mat, right? And then in the middle is like a wooden plank,
Mhm.
and then you set yourself up with your feet on the wooden plank, and you're seated on your ass. And then the other person you're wrestling against does the same thing on the other side, and between you guys is essentially a broomstick, which you guys both hold, and your goal is to get the
Pull
other
the other
person
motherfucker
over to your side.
Wow. So it's like deadlifting competitively.
It's like
with,
competitive deadlift with another person who can
Oh,
deadlift as much as you
wow.
can.
I never even thought about it as deadlift.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And so Moss
I'll need to
wrestling,
see this in person.
It
is-
I could excel at this. It's the
it
first
is-
sport I've ever been able to do.
it is so exciting to
Yeah.
watch, and it is so fucking
Violent.
dangerous. Like,
I think
people are like tearing their bodies in half trying to
This
move
is the
everyone.
best thing I've ever heard.
The
of.
only the few times I've gotten to watch it, I always just worry that the broomstick is going to snap because
Well,
it's like there's
it's
two
like-
gigantic guys, little piece of wood.
Yeah. Oh, so they're actually using wood. It's not like
yeah,
a,
it's like
okay.
a wooden. It's like a wooden
Ah,
dowel.
interesting.
Because generally what happens, like one person will let go and they'll fly
yeah,
back.
yeah.
So if they use metal, just
And-
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah.
Martins is like a world champion in Moss wrestling.
Oh, so there's like organized
There's
competitions.
organized competition, and that idea of like this old school strength.
How am I just
mindset,
hearing about
dude?
this?
Seriously, this old school strength mindset of if you're a strength athlete, you participate in all strength athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Like Martins doesn't just do strongman; he does like these old, very strange, like
Mm-hmm.
old school style, like world records, like the Steinborn squat, for example, which is the heaviest squat that the bar starts on the ground. So you have to like pick up one end
Yeah.
and then bend into it to put it on your back rack, and then you bend back over into the bottom of your squat and stand back up. And Martins has done that with over 500 pounds.
Wait, and so how far do you bend over to it? Touches?
You
So
get
like
the bar.
one
you-
head of the
there's
bar
like-
is on the
yeah,
ground.
The bar
Yeah,
is flat on the
wow.
ground. Like
Oh, shit.
how would you get a bar that's on the ground to your back that you can't clean, right?
Clean
you
that
like
shit.
you like stand it straight up, and then you put your hands where you would be if you were gonna back squat it, and
Oh.
then get into the bottom of your back squat
And
and
just let it
bend
tilt
your
on.
way into it, and then tilt back into the bottom of your back
That's the
squat.
coolest thing I've ever heard of.
It's so amazing.
It's definitely not a movement you can do at a
Yeah.
certain body weight.
Yeah.
Like if you're under 200, 225 pounds, you're limited by how much weight can be up there, because it's
Yeah.
like if you load that bar and then there's, let's say, 200 pounds up in the air and you pull it over on yourself,
yeah.
you're
So,
like
Yeah.
your spine's just going to crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Martins is like,
So you gotta
and
be
Martins
thick.
is a large human. He's gotten a lot bigger since I first met him. He's like well into the 300s now, and he's incredibly fucking strong.
Yeah.
And he has that sort of like overall ridiculous strength that comes from years, just day in and day out, getting stronger. Like like the idea of like you have a big pile of dirt. Sometimes it's a shovel you move it with, and sometimes it's a spoon. Like Martins has been moving it with like a shovel
gigantic dozer.
every fucking day for the past like 10 years basically.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him do a bar muscle up at over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
A fucking bar muscle up.
Again,
Wow.
a rig that supports this.
It's insane. It's insane. So yeah, I think I am pretty confident in saying that Martins is the future of strongman.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that listen, when Thor first came onto the scene,
How
it was
tall is
like
he? Not super.
he's
not
not
super tall,
he's
like
not
6'2".
He's more like
yeah,
Totally
he's
Paul
like
size.
he's like in the mid sixes,
Yeah,
like maybe
okay.
low sixes. But the same way that when Thor first came on the scene, everyone was like, yeah, this guy's gonna win the world's strongest
Yeah,
man
yeah.
at some point. Like 1, he's Icelandic. 2, he's a giant. 3, he's a child, and he's
Yeah,
still
he was
getting
like
bigger.
21.
And it's like he's the most dynamic and athletic strongman that ever lived, and now he's one of the strongest strongmen that ever lived.
Yep.
Like he's like built into, and he's still only like 29, 28. So he's like built into his career. And Martins has the same thing. Like he has this potential where the prime of a strongman's career is their like mid to late 30s. Mid to late 30s.
That
Thor-
man strength.
Thor isn't even there yet.
Yep.
Like Thor is still in his late 20s.
He's
He
gonna
still
keep
hasn't
getting
even.
bigger.
He's going to keep getting stronger. He's going to keep getting more efficient and more athletic at this stuff. And Martins has that same potential, which I fucking love to see.
Yeah, and Thor won over the weekend. Did he?
Thor did win.
Yes.
Thor he didn't just win. He fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
He was he got either first or second, I think, in every event.
Wow.
God bless.
And Martins is the only one I think that beat him in any event. And it was first place was Thor, second place was Martins, and then like 10 or 11 points behind Martins was third place. And 10 or 11 points is like you know, first place had 44 points.
Mm-hmm.
Second place had like 41 points.
Mm-hmm.
So third place was like 30 points. So you're really looking at a massive fucking gap between those two and everybody else.
Crazy.
And
Plus, he has a good YouTube channel and vlogs frequently.
Maartins is hilarious. That's
I didn't
that's
know
another
that. I
thing
need to
about
follow
him.
him.
He's very funny, and I think again
He did climb the wheel of pain when the thing
I didn't
was
see
over. You
that.
didn't see that part?
No.
Oh, I even filmed it on my. I have it on my Instagram. But he like Thor finishes because he was the last one to go. Comes up short of Maartins
by like 6 inches.
Yeah,
It's distance.
Oh, okay, gotcha. He
Heyo.
yeah, he and then he just climbs and like all of a sudden the camera's like, oh yeah, and he's climbing up the wheel of pain and he stands basically on top of it with one hand in the air and like I win.
Maartins
cool.
is hilarious. He has a great YouTube channel that gives a lot of really interesting insight to his training and like his development. But you know, do you guys know who Ricky Bruch is?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, I'm so excited that I get to tell you guys about Ricky Bruch.
Am I going to be as excited about this as I was the broomstick deadlifting competition?
Yes, yes, you are. I think I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly. I think it's Ricky Bruch. He's like a Nordic country. He was a thrower, right? So his main thing, I believe, was discus.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like a world champion discus thrower, a strength athlete like Maartins is, like this overall well-rounded strength guy. You know, Ricky Bruch was like also a poet, a writer, a porn star.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
You buried
All right.
the lead
What
there.
does his dick look like?
So I don't know what his dick looks like, but
Is it big in the middle?
But why wasn't that the first thing you looked at?
because you have to set the tone. Like, oh, he's
Okay.
a strength athlete and a poet,
Yes.
but also porn star.
I'm into it.
And he had like these. He basically, my guess is he had some sort of like undiagnosed mental illness, right? Like some sort of like not bipolar, but like he definitely had like manic states. Like even like the documentaries and stuff that are out on him on YouTube and stuff, you can see he gets really manic in very strange ways. But he lived like this like Renaissance man life. Like he would run like hours. He would run. He could run for hours, but he could also, you know, like fucking he could throw a discus like 80 meters or like 79 meters or whatever it was. And he was like one of the best in the world, but got like politically sort of banned from being competing in the Olympics and stuff. And like, you know, the fallout from that was like maybe like a few months later at some meet, like he beat the world record and like would have gotten gold at that Olympics or something. There's a lot of really interesting stories about him. But Maartins also has that like Renaissance man thing that Ricky Bruch had without having the insanity. He has like this, and maybe without the porn. I'm not sure.
Yeah. We should circle back to the porn in a
But
second.
he has like this, you know, he has like this Renaissance man. Like he's a creator. He's like creative and strong, and also lives like this very strange. Like in our time, it seems very strange, but he really embodies it in a really fascinating way.
He's like Juji Mufu, but in life.
Yes,
Just
that's
all
a
kinds
cool
of
way of
strength.
describing it. And Ricky Bruch has a really fucking cool documentary on him that you can watch on he's Swedish, Bjorn Rickard Ricky Bruch. It's called, God, what is that documentary called? I have to find it. It is called
This episode of San is brought to you by Black Coffee. We're all drinking it while these guys search through their phones.
It's brought to us, in fact, by Bloatright.
Bloatright.
That is what.
Tell me about
that's a new
Bloatright.
sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah, you guys got the ad jingle music playing.
Yes, that's
Bloat right. By Ancient Alternatives out of Canada.
And it sounds like this.
That's
Are you
exactly
getting that,
how it
Armen?
sounds. It's a little empty.
Yeah, I
here.
did get that. Ricky Bruch has a documentary called "The Soul is Greater Than the World," which is also I think the name of one of his books of poetry.
Yeah. The soul is greater than the world.
And
That
to
is
give you an
deep as
idea of the
fuck.
type of stuff that's in there, you know, he'll be training and he'll have like, maybe almost like 170 kilos or something on a bar, 150, 170 kilos on a bar. It'll be just him alone. And he's like upstairs in his barn, like and the shot is from outside, so you're just like looking through a window in this dark world of like just this window of light, and he has this, and he's just bouncing it off of his back, overhead, Like he literally is doing almost like
I
imagine.
picture him not looking that. I feel like he was a lot more solemn with his look than
He
you
has
were just now.
There's nothing. Yeah, he's not like he doesn't have this goofy, stupid smile on his face. He's just bouncing weight overhead.
I'm just picturing Ivan Drago pummeling Apollo Creed to death, and he's just putting that bar up.
Then like it'll cut to him like inside of like this weight room, and he's like on a bench. He's laying down on the bench, and he's doing kind of like the dragon, like dragon flags, where like you like hold on to the back of the bench and you bring your body up. He's
also from Rocky IV.
Also from Rocky IV. He's doing that with like weight in between his legs.
Of course he is.
And then he like drops it, stands up, and he's like, ah! Ah! And he jumps up and tears the light fixture off the ceiling. Ah! Just grabs it, like tears it down, breaks it, and like runs off into the darkness. Ah! It's fucking amazing.
And then there's a lot of dead air because he runs out of the barn. It's just darkness out there. He goes away, and you're about to hit pause. The video keeps going. A few minutes later, you see him starting to come back. He's moving slowly. Why? He's dragging not one, two dead wolves, one in each hand behind him. He just fucking beat the shit. He didn't kill them with a knife or a stick or an addle or any of those things. He literally just chased him down and then just fucking punched these wolves to death and dragged them back. He skins them on camera. He guts them. He tans their hides. And we're about 35 minutes into the YouTube video at this point. He wears the wolf skins, and then he puts weight between his legs. He goes right back to his core work, and that's what's important, guys. It's consistency.
How long do you think it would take to beat a wolf to death if you just used your fist?
I don't think it would go very long before you were yourself very dead.
Us or Ricky Bruch?
Us.
Well, that wouldn't take very long at all because we would die.
You think you died from a wolf? I think I could take a wolf if it was just one.
Oh no,
Chase, that's a big mistake.
Let's fucking set it up. That'll be an exhibition at the
Let's
fitness
start
games.
with like a medium-sized dog that with a bad
I'm not gonna
attitude.
punch a dog to death. I
Well,
said
what
I
is
don't
a
want to
wolf?
own a dog. Not that I don't want to. God, dear God. A wolf is just
Absolutely.
a big dog. You can clearly punch that stupid thing.
It's about aggression.
Yeah.
If I
Dog would-
can't punch a wolf to death, what am I even training for?
Yes, but this dog's a tough customer. He's,
A wolf, Kyle.
so why are you taking these bloat pills, Chase? Tell me about them.
Oh, dude, they just help. You know, if you have like, I kind of have like problems like breaking down fat. But you need fat for a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm taking ox bile right now for a similar thing. Someone else was taking it, and they just my sister was taking it when she was on keto. She's like, "You want the rest of this?" And I was like, "Sure." And so now I'm just taking it, which is basically, I think that sums up my attitude about supplements. Like, if I have it and I can take it, I'll take it. But
yeah, this one just has a whole bunch of stuff to help you like break down that type of thing in your stomach. It's like licorice, papaya leaves, fenugreek, and ginger.
maybe
So
that's
it's like
what's happening.
Vitamins and
I knew
and
fenugreek
herbs
is in
and
the
shit.
testosterone boosters, so you got that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen the ingredient listed in like Cellucor's testosterone.
Because that's been the
boosters.
big change for me in as I've gotten older. Is now if I cheat even a little bit on my diet, I inflate like a balloon.
Yeah.
I really do feel like when the Joker tried to smuggle that bomb into the jailhouse inside of that guy in The Dark Knight. That's basically what I feel like. But if the bomb has already gone off,
That's not good.
and
I don't know if this will fix that.
Yeah, I know. But it's not so much pain as it's just like I feel my whole body inflate. And then slowly, if I get back on diet, like over the course of the next 5 or 6 days, it all just sort of reduces in size. And I need to figure out what's going on in there, in my tummy, and then how do I fix it? Because it's
So-
uncomfortable.
I take this in combination with a probiotic called EcoBalance, and it makes things highly explosive.
Oh, good. And,
highly
in the butt is what you're saying.
in the butt.
Oh, I don't know if I want to add
And
that
this
element
like
of chaos
this
into my
turns
life.
that down, right? Like they balance each other out.
Interesting.
Elective chaos.
So we're taking this supplement to balance
The
the
explosivity.
yes, the trumpet butt you're getting from the
Trumpet
other
butt.
one.
That's a good way to
Okay,
put
I
it.
get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Louis Armstrong is playing your butthole.
Yeah, man. That's exactly how it is.
I mean, that is what those instruments are, right? It's just a big
Like
horn.
someone heard a butthole and they're like, I want to make an instrument that
It
sounds
just
like that.
it just amplifies when they just use their lips to go.
Exactly. Well, you're just making a fart sound with your lips, and that's just a way of taking the fart sound you make with your lips and turning it into music.
Sweet
So-
music.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that you've done some of the open workouts, but I noticed that you were missing on the Scaleless Nation leaderboard.
Yeah,
which is currently owned by Denmark, by the way.
So Denmark is owning us?
I don't know if you've paid attention to this, but I forget what his name is. Let me look it up. But give me your excuse as to why you're not doing
I am not. I haven't done any open workouts or really many workouts at all. I think I've been to the gym only a handful of times since January 1st. It has been a... Armen and I are very busy right now, so we're not working out that much. So slightly busier, obviously, because I'm not doing the open.
The leaderboard after 19.1 was owned by a man named Kenneth Huddlebush Mertz. He goes by the Mertzful on Instagram. I had to do some searching to find the dude.
And he's Denmarkian?
Is that a Dane?
That's
if you're from Denmark? Yes. Yeah, he got like 377 reps on that workout. Yeah, you did really, really well.
Why do you listen to this show?
We have fit fans. We have nothing to teach you. We have nothing to teach you. I've had other people reach out to us from Denmark. Do we sound off, Denmark listeners? Because I like the idea that we have fans in Denmark, because that seems like it's a cool place, and I think they all speak English over there. So basically what I'm saying is, hey, Denmark, can I crash with you? Like if I just fly out there, you know? I wouldn't mind spending some time in Denmark. Scaleless Nation, put me up. Don't murder me. That's all I'm saying. That's my one requirement.
My one question is, does Denmark have an extradition treaty with the United States?
That's true.
In case I need to be on the lam
for
the bad things that I haven't been caught with yet,
yes.
Is Denmark a safe haven for me?
I would say absolutely yes.
The point being, guys,
knowing nothing about it,
is that can't stand. All right, so we need the
USA
dominate. Listeners.
Chase, you are our only hope.
No, there's a few other people in here.
Okay.
I mean, I was fourth on our leaderboard after that workout.
I mean, you have some ground to make up.
So I'm talking to those other people. We need to defeat this Dane.
How do we collectively defeat them? It's really kind of all on you, Chase.
Well, I think at first we all create a new hashtag and we don't publicize it. I will message all the people that we want on the leaderboard directly, and that will be the new Scaleless Nation 2.0.
Can we just add, like, always include Matt Fraser into this, into our own leaderboard, so that he's just always there?
Yeah.
I think we should probably use our own athlete, Nick Urankar or Travis Williams.
So here's the thing. I think that our goal, if we're really going to win with this Scaleless Nation open hashtag, it's not about us topping the leaderboard. That's selfish. That's not about the community. What it should be about is how many of the top 20 finishers in the open can we get to add the Scaleless Nation hashtag to their open in the future. I think that should be the goal. I want us to pester Matt Fraser. I want us to pester the Tia Claire Toomeys of the world.
Well,
get them to add the hashtag.
I think we'd have a better chance of getting Tia on there.
Yes, she seems friendly. She's from Australia.
And I think she would totally accept our $20 a month.
Yeah.
If we posted it up. I think she'd be our female athlete.
That's how we sponsor athletes. We say, we'll cover your $20, Matt Fraser. We'll cover.
Open. That's how we get.
Yes, we'll cover. We will.
None of your other sponsors pay your registration fees.
Exactly. You know, Rich Froning. Listen, we got you. There's no reason you need to be stressing that $20. We'll take the pressure off. Just hop on over to the Scaleless Nation board. Come on, make a difference. Be somebody.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Represent.
I don't know if you
I
guys
feel like we could get some CrossFit Games athletes on the board.
We have $20 a month, not $20 per athlete.
Yes.
So the more
$20 a month is 12 athletes that we can pay for the Open. Well, this year it would be 6 because 6 in spring, 6 in October.
Now they can choose to take their payment in the form of $20 cash or a brand new, newly designed Scaleless Needed T-shirt every month.
Yeah.
Or that is way more expensive.
$20 cash or $20 sandbucks.
20 sandbucks. Now here's the thing: is it possible to add after you register? Could they add for this year's Open? Could they add an extra hashtag on?
Hey, Rich, I noticed you haven't claimed your 20 sandbucks for this month. We got a really cool design.
Redeemable at Armen Sandstore.
Mount Rushmore, except all the faces are you. Thought you'd be interested in that.
Yeah. You know, guys, I've failed. I've failed all of us in that I have not yet seen the finale for True Detective.
That is a failure.
It's been a very busy week, And
Shame.
It's only a failure, by the way, because the other night when Cliff and I watched him, I was like, guys, I'm really not in the mood. I told Cliff, I'm not really not in the mood to watch True Detective, and Cliff was like, we have to for the podcast. So I was like, fuck. And then I watched both episodes. So now I'm pissed.
Well,
I am pissed.
I am 100% going to watch it this week.
Yes.
Because I think things should kind of slow down maybe a little bit, hopefully, fingers crossed, which will give me the time to check it out and actually watch it.
Check it out.
Because I've been watching all the episodes with Katie. Katie's been out of town this weekend, and she was really busy with work last week, same as me. And so it was just not going to work out. So I'm going to give all my excuses there. Camera broke, cars in the shop, the TV language changed to Mandarin. I don't know how to change it back.
I came over to his house just to kick him in the nuts.
Yeah.
So I got to stay on top of my results. My excuses game as opposed to my results game. And watch True Detective sometime this week. So
Yeah,
we
we'll
can't
get
really
to it,
talk
guys.
about it, but we will get to it. And I think that's probably as good a place as any to leave this thing off.
All right.
Yeah. Let's do that. So just a reminder before we go, we are doing live announcement reactions. Thursday evenings during the open announcements. I promise we're not going to get kicked off the air this time.
So the cord will be guarded so that Bowie can't eat through it, and you won't post copyrighted material on it.
So we're gonna stay
to both
on
those things.
on their stream with no sound.
Yes,
Yes.
probably.
Who knows? Well, listen,
Maybe.
we're going to make a lot of
We
changes.
might just air Rick and Morty.
Yes. I have a workaround, guys, and that workaround is this. All right, brown lunch sacks. You had them when you were a kid. It's a little foldable brown lunch sack. You put your food in it. You fold the top. You write your name on it. You take it to school. Everyone's familiar with them. And you are probably familiar with this. If you invert the brown paper sack, you can form a little puppet. You put some googly eyes on it. You put a little nose. You draw a mouth. Put some teeth in there made of
I had
felt.
3 of those that were my best friends. growing up.
Exactly. So what we're going to do this week is, because we can't actually show what's going on in the open, we're going to set the camera up at Armen's kitchen table, and we're all going to make puppets of the various fitness people involved. We're going to put our hands above the table, and we're going to basically do a puppet show of what is our best interpretation live of what's happening on camera for the games, okay? Or for the open
Benny
announcement.
Garrod. 19.3.
Hey guys, how's it going? Anyway, yes, we're gonna still do our live. Someone suggested they're like, do it like the Fight Companions that Rogan does. And while that's a really good idea,
We don't have an Eddie Bravo. Well, we do have an Eddie
we don't.
Bravo.
I don't think we
It's
have.
true.
I guess we could do it like the Fight Companions and just stream us the entire time. But at the same time, we could not, and just also keep streaming the live streams. And I reached out to HQ, by the way. This is important.
Okay.
Oh.
I reached out and I said, did one of you guys purposefully strike us, or is that an automatic thing that was flagged off of YouTube? And the response I got was
Red Space 9.
fuck you, get out of our space. No, I'm just kidding. No, the response I got was there was nobody that was purposefully finding it. So it was 100% because of YouTube. Us
Because we
live
played
streaming
that
it,
dumb clip we shouldn't have played.
because the 19.2 announcement wasn't that great, and we went back to the 16.2 announcement. We got a little bit in trouble through YouTube. It had nothing to do with HQ. HQ seems to be, at the very least, I wouldn't say co-signing, but at the very least, like, ignoring us live streaming the stream of
Sort of passively
the
condoning.
announcements.
I would
what
argue
we're
that they've
doing.
been ignoring us ever since we actively tried to make them not repost us.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct.
We succeeded.
We did succeed in that. Noise. Haven't been on that page for a hot minute. I'd
We
say.
really clear them
Winning.
out every time. We got about a solid 5 minutes of nutsack discussion off the top, just to clear out the posers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't. People who are not okay with that nutsack conversation, I'm not okay with them listening to the podcast.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
uninvited.
There were a lot of people on the live stream who were confused about what they were getting into.
Yeah,
I think there
People
were a
exactly.
lot
who
of
are only familiar with your videos,
exactly.
and this is the first time.
Exactly.
There are a lot of people that are like, "Why are you talking over the announcement? Like, what part of this announcement is entertaining?"
Yeah.
That was my answer to that.
And have you ever watched a commentary before? It doesn't work any other way.
Did you guys go back and watch it at all?
No, not at
Did
all.
you?
I watched part of it.
So like the sound was a little off for me. Like we had that video playing, but we were also talking, and
Yeah.
I was very
Was it
overwhelmed.
Was it too much?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, so we heard sound from their video.
Yeah, I
and
did that on
okay,
purpose.
okay.
I tried to,
Oh,
because
yeah.
last time
That
we
can be
had no
confusing,
audio
yeah.
and it was like a little bit weird. So
we're gonna nail.
we're
it this
learning,
time,
guys.
Yeah.
We're learning. I don't think people understand. I have no idea what I'm doing. I literally set this up in my office at home, and just the nest of wires and like crazy jury rigging that needs to happen in order for this thing to actually
The nest
happen.
of dog accessible wires. Was
Oh my
crazy.
God.
It is
It's a
a
wonder
miracle.
that not
It's-
more cords have been bit through.
It's a miracle that we even got on the air, much less got
every
that
time
many people
he
watching.
hits the play
Yeah.
button, the stream button, it's a miracle that we appear up there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to break this to you guys who are listening or watching this, but in case you didn't know, I've never had support from CrossFit HQ, like a paycheck or media training or a million, tens of millions of dollars fucking engine that builds a studio for me and also hires production people to create an actual crew. This is me.
Yes.
This is me like bootstrapping this thing as aggressively
Exactly.
as I possibly can. I don't.
What a blessed life that would be if someone were doing all of
Wouldn't
that
it
for
be
you.
Wouldn't it be interesting if like the leg up that I had was that I'm just recreating the exact thing that I was paid a lot of money to recreate previously? Like, wouldn't that be a cool little leg up to have? I
Yeah.
guess, but I don't have that leg up.
Not yet. You don't.
And so here I am with my buds
Yeah.
live streaming off of my laptop,
Yes.
hoping that everything is going to work out okay, acting as my own sound engineer and video director, live stream director,
Yes.
and the talent on camera, and hoping that there's entertaining stuff coming out of our mouths.
Let's point out, everyone, that right now, as we record this podcast, and you can see this on YouTube, this is my kitchen table, which has been moved into my living room so that we can do this. So if you are wondering why the stream went down, I just want you to picture, imagine your friend just coming over to your house and trying to do a TV show out of your living room, but he's never done that before. That's basically, that's kind of how it is every week.
and
So-
I wouldn't want to do it any other way.
Yes,
this
exactly.
is the best fucking way for this thing to happen. It is the most authentic way for it to happen, and it's the funniest way that it could happen.
And think of how much you've learned.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've learned don't live streams on YouTube.
Yes.
That's
That's
what I've
wild.
learned. Yeah.
And all of my cursing and vulgarity will be intermittent. I'm going to try and keep a lid on it, but I honestly can't. I don't notice myself doing it.
I saw someone commented on my Fran joke about how tasteless it was on there, and you know what? That made me smile.
I missed
Made it worth it.
I missed the Fran
Well, I
joke. What
missed
was
that
the
one.
Fran
It
joke?
was it was one of those perfect setups. There, it was about something about being deep inside of Fran 3 times. Was the setup Armen gave me? I said I've been deep inside of Fran 3 times.
Heyo.
But not what you're talking
Francesco.
about.
We
Sex
rehearsed
jokes.
that one. That was the only thing we actually rehearsed the entire night.
Yeah.
We actually
There was
rehearsed that
one time where I had a joke about where I was going to be about. Yeah, it was about coming. Something. Someone said coming, and then I was opening my mouth.
saw you.
I know, and Armen saw me, and I just said, "Never mind." And then Armen just started laughing because he knew the
I
joke
knew.
that I was trying to make.
Oh.
There were several jokes I didn't make, but I
Yeah.
could make. I feel you can make sexual innuendos that don't involve profanity. I think that's okay.
So again, if you haven't caught on to the wide variety of content and
Blow
styles
right
of
time.
content that's happening in my channel, there's like punditry, there's reporting, like journalism, there's analysis and commentary, there's several dozens of minutes of nutsacks.
Yes.
So it's just a whole wide range of stuff.
You should just know that if it generally, as a rule of thumb, you do not have to pay attention to everything, but as a rule of thumb, if Cliff and I are in any way present in the video, there's going to be a little bit more nutsack. So that's branded mature
Well, it's just
content.
a game of
numbers there.
Twice as much.
There's only one guy
Approximately
on my
twice the number of nutsacks.
and now there's 3 times as many nutsacks.
There's twice as much nutsacks by count, but by volume, it's like at least 70% more.
I got a good
nutsacks.
deal in these nutsacks.
And by
70% more is less than twice
and,
as much.
But I want to point out.
Alright.
I want to point out the. But to bring it full circle, lengthwise, the amount of nutsacks has increased by like 350%.
yeah, the square footage of nutsack
Yes.
is certainly much
Just
larger than
by
twice as much.
distance, or I should say by radius. If you're helicoptering your balls, the radius has increased tremendously.
We've come
So you
full circle.
Take that radius 2 pi r, double it,
Yeah.
multiply it by pi.
There you go.
Therefore, you're going to get the circumference.
Here's how my math worked. Right now, in this room, 70% of the nutsack volume in this room
Right over here.
I'll agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, whenever you guys join
Huge
the show,
balls.
the average number of white hair per nutsack dips very
yeah.
low.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
low.
Yeah, it has that because that one white nutsack hair really has to support a lot more, and it
You
brings
guys'
the average
nutsack
down.
hairs aren't white?
No, not yet.
Ooh, have you been seeing those ads
Frosted
on YouTube?
tips, though.
You see those ads on YouTube for the new Manscaper that apparently won't nick your nutsack?
Oh yeah.
You need to try that out.
I didn't know
That's
that
the
was a
type of
problem.
technology that we need in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever nicked your nutsack before? It's
Absolutely.
no fun. It's no fun.
No.
Yeah. It's
Never.
no fun.
All right, so let's just go and wrap this up. We
Unscarred nutsack
bookended
here.
this
We went-
episode with nutsacks.
Yeah, we ended up bleeding nutsacks, so
good.
that's pretty good.
Ugh.
Bleeding Nutsacks is the lead single from Elective Chaos's new album.
Yeah.
Bleeding Nutsacks, our first sponsor.
Let's go ahead.
I am at Mr. Kyle Bogart on the most central Instagram account on the internet.
I'm at Cliff Bogart on the. I'm going to say the fattest, but I'm going to say the most voluminous nutsack Instagram channel on the internet. There we go.
Damn, that's solid. I'm at Chase504 on Instagram and YouTube as well. I did 19.2 as well.
We didn't even talk about it. We didn't even talk about how
Well, listen.
good Chase did. Oh man, that makes
Listen.
me almost feel bad.
19.2. If we would have done a side-by-side comparison, then you guys would have took no value in doing the single method.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. You see, Chase is one of those guys who has the capacity to do those continuous toes to bar, and therefore
Absolutely.
he's playing a different game than we're playing.
Let me definitely, before we wrap this up, I definitely do want to mention Chase did 19.2. It didn't come up during this episode yet. Well, we're going to bring it up right now because you shoehorned it at the very end of this episode. That's fine. I completely understand. You're very proud of it, and you should be because it was an absolutely balls-out impressive performance. Chase got within one clean of getting into the final round.
Oh.
So he got 8 of 9 cleans at 275.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Which means he was basically 15 seconds off his pace.
Yeah,
And
my quads and hips hate me.
that is that's a level of maturity and performance that I have not seen out of Chase ever. And I was talking to Winchester about this after you obviously weren't part of that conversation. Winchester is Chase's coach, and the development from like kind of scrawny Chase that like we first hired in 2016
to thick boy Chase.
to thick boy Chase now that's like deadlifting 600 pounds and getting almost into the 315s on his workout.
And he's just like, he's nipping at my heels squat wise. Pretty soon he's going to be above
Almost
where I am.
He's almost
Very
there. Is really, really cool to see. Like you have been going in and out of the gym regularly and just moving that pile of dirt with a small spoon.
The tiniest of thimbles.
Smallest, just like not even a thimble, like a spoon that you would have in like a children's fucking
baby
play
spoon.
set, like a hamster spoon.
Yes, not unlike
Sometimes.
Hafthor Bjornsson, you're maturing into your body. Pretty soon, you're going to get hairs in weird places. Some of them will be white. Your
Yeah.
balls are going to get longer and longer,
My
but
voice
you're going to
keeps
get
doing
fitter.
this weird thing.
Yes.
He's in that weird phase of his life where he goes to the gym, he works out, and then he's a little bit better the next time he goes into the gym.
hard to
Man, I
believe.
miss those days.
Crazy.
Yeah, so Chase fucking murked 19.2. It was very impressive
Which you
to
can
see.
see yourself on Chase's channel, Chase504 on YouTube, which you should all subscribe to, Armen.
Nice.
And
This is what the $5 sponsorship ad gets you
Wow.
with Kyle.
yes, I think that everyone should subscribe to Chase on YouTube right now. And then once you do, I want you to screen grab the fact that you're subscribed, and I want you to Instagram that shit and tag Chase. Tag San. Let's see how many subscribers we can get on Chase's channel by the end of next week. Come on, guys. Scale is nation. Fucking mobilize. What else do you have to do? Denmark? I'm fucking looking at you. I want to see if I was a heat map. If there's a Chase long heat map, I want fucking Denmark lit the fuck up. All right.
like that
Hear
one
me.
place in North Korea that gets electricity.
I want. It's like right now. That's true. It's like I want Chase's. I want the heat map to be Denmark. I want you to be fucking South Korea. Okay. Let's show those Belgians what's up.
Listen, all I was going to say is that I will be posting my full workout with commentary Monday morning.
Yeah.
So all you people on the Scale is Nation leaderboard can try to snipe me.
Yes.
What did you think of 19.2, Chase?
Oh, man, that workout is radically harder when you get past the 225-pound part.
Yeah.
Every time I've done it in the past, so that was my second open workout back in 2016. And I couldn't squat clean 225 at that point.
Yeah.
I was I was confident my knees would just rupture.
Yeah.
So I was actually front. I had to like power clean it, then front squat it. I got 1 rep somehow. I just failed and failed and failed. Like 10 seconds left. Hit that one clean. And then we redid it last December at Yakaru, and I was like a rep away from getting to the 275 pound bar. And I was expecting going into this one that it would hurt very similarly. Like, you know, my lungs would be fine, but my grip would hurt and my legs would hurt a little bit. And that's not what happened. The whole system caught on fire. The whole system caught on fire, and all I could like remember is Armen, the CrossFit Muppet in Winchester, screaming at me to get on the bar. To which I
just watched it. It was on Armen's channel.
I had no desire to get on that bar. I had nothing in my body wanted to pick that thing up.
You were kind of just over fitness at that point.
I was done. I was done at 185. Yeah. In my head, I was like, I'm not gonna get outside of this. Fuck 225. Fuck 275. Any dreams or aspirations I have for this sport are over.
And Armen was basically like, you got to bite down on your mouth guard and move forward.
Yeah, he gave me a wood block. He gave me a wood block.
That's right.
Absolutely did. A wood block.
A wood block.
That was engraved.
Yes.
With the words, "Pick it up." I stamped it on his forehead.
Yeah,
no, it definitely helped having Armen there to handle the pacing, so my brain didn't have to think.
No, that is awesome to also be able to get all those 275 squat cleans in there, because man, oh man, like that is not an easy amount of weight to be standing up over and over and over again at that point. Like even just doing it with power cleans and front squats, I imagine would be brutal as fuck. But no, I was watching the squat cleans actually just before we started the podcast, and that was that baby Chase all grown up. Baby Chase all grown up.
Baby Chase all grown up. Baby Chase all. And you can find that at Chase504
on the YouTubes.
Which is the same as his Instagram handle. And you can find me at Armen Hammer TV.
Oh shit,
that's right. We just passed 13,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, guys.
Fuck yeah! It feels like the open is being good to you.
It has been very good to me so far, and I hope it continues to be good to me.
There's pubic hair confetti falling from the sky right now in celebration.
I got some pretty exciting news. I'm not going to be able to share just yet, but it is going to be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to experiencing some really interesting stuff, which I will hopefully be able to share sooner rather than later, probably by next episode.
Yes, Armen will be transitioning, but into what? You don't know.
A DMT cult.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening, and good luck in 19.3. And we will see you guys next week. Later.
Later.
Later.